If you're among the 800,000 Hoosiers who don't have health insurance, getting low-cost coverage for your family might seem like an unsolvable puzzle. Luckily, you've already got a partner right here in Indiana. Covering Kids and Families is ready to help you unravel the mystery to make sure your kids get the great health care they deserve. Chances are you're eligible too. CKF has the expertise to help you cut through the red tape to a healthy future for you and your children. Because every child deserves to be healthy. Find out more at coveryourkids.org.
Welcome to this week's episode of Kendallville Sports Talk here at Pizza Hut. Again, we'd like to thank Bill Miller for letting us meet here every Saturday. Today we have a very special guest with us, local gentleman, Hall of Fame bowler, Mr. Jerry Campbell. And Jerry, welcome to the show. Welcome to being here.
Thank you.
First of all, just briefly, I've got like 4 questions. We'll pass it down the line here and have them ask you some questions as well, from Mike and Ben. Tell me about when you were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame was set up a couple of years ago by the local association to recognize bowlers in their field. I was selected in September of this year as the men's side of the Hall of Fame, which I consider a great honor to be recognized by your bowling peers to receive this award. Even though it is a local award, USBC, which is the United States Bowling Congress, at the national headquarters in Arlington, Texas, also recognizes this as an achievement, and they put it up in their records at the national level.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations. Now, are you directly affiliated here too locally with the bowling alley? Because I know the name Campbell in town, but the bowling alley is a connection.
If you speak of bowling in Kendallville, you have to speak to the Campbell family. My brother owns the bowling center here in town now. I have a vested interest in it, but our father, Bud Campbell, which most of them probably remember, came into town in 1954 and took over the bowling center at that time. That was called Kendallville Bowl when they took it over. So yes, Campbell has been a name in bowling since 1950s. So we do have quite a history there.
Now, you're also involved in coaching. Are you affiliated within the high school East Noble bowling team?
Yes, I coach the high school girls team, the East Noble girls team. My brother coaches Lakeland High School, and his son Bobby coaches East Noble's boys team. The reason my brother coaches Lakeland is because they didn't have a place to practice, and they wanted a team. And my nephew's daughter is on Lakeland, and she wanted Bob to coach them, so Bobby took over East Noble's boys team, and Bob took over Lakeland's.
So how long has East Noble had a bowling program at the high school level?
Actually, the high school bowling program started in 2005, and it was started by my brother Bob and Chris Toyes from Auburn. They got the high school league started in the area. We now have 8 schools in the conference that we bowl in, which is Northeastern Indiana Bowling Conference. They started that in 2005, and it is recognized by East Noble as a letter sport. They can actually earn a letter. However, it is a club organization. It's not considered a sport, but we have to follow the ISHAA rules of bowling and the IBC rules that govern bowling. We have to follow those rules. Like I say, they can earn a letter in bowling. However, the school, East Noble, does not fund any of it. There's no cost to East Noble.
Okay.
It's all through donations, whatever we can come up with to substantiate the cost of it. And it costs anywhere from $900 to $1,000 a year to fund the 2 teams that we have at East Noble.
Wow.
So we do get a few donations, we do some fundraisers, but if we happen to come up short or anything, Bob and I put the balance in out of our pocket to keep the program going.
Well, thanks for doing that. I've heard that's wonderful. One thing, too, before we get back into talking about you specifically, I also read last week, I think it was in the paper, I heard that there were 4 local youth that won a state championship. I think they were 6th graders. Can you?
Yes, they were 6th and 7th graders. The bowl in our youth league here on Saturday. We always take a bunch of kids down to the state tournaments every year. Last year, one of our local teams won Division 6 state championship. They run them in divisions according to age and averages, and they did win Division 6. A couple years ago, we had a couple girls that won doubles event championships. So they've been doing pretty good at the state level.
Michael.
Well, I see you brought with you a couple plaques there, one from the USBC. Apparently you bowled a perfect game.
300.
I've had 5 of them so
Wow.
far in my
How many?
5
Wow.
that I've had. This one I elected to get the plaque on one of them. Normally they give out a ring.
Okay.
I don't wear much jewelry, so that's why I decided to go with the plaque. And then this is the plaque that the Hall of Fame plaque that they presented to me.
That's very
Which again, I appreciate them doing that. As a matter of fact, my daughter Nicole nominated me for that.
That's great.
awesome. Well, also, you mentioned the Campbell name synonymous with bowling here in town. A lot of people may remember you guys used to be located there out on
Park Avenue.
Park, and
Yes.
then we had the
Yes.
tornado come through.
Yes.
You located just on the other side of this park,
Right
here, Shadow Bowl. You mentioned the word center at the beginning of the program, and when we were off air, we were discussing that and how the terminology has changed. Like the alley is now one thing, and the gutter's no longer a gutter. Although Steve and I were in the gutter quite a bit. If you could just
Explain that.
elaborate on that a little bit. And
over the years, quite a bit has evolved through the bowling. The terminology is they're no longer called bowling alleys; they're called bowling centers. The lane is no longer an alley; it's called a lane. The gutters that they refer to on the side are referred to as channels now, and it's just a terminology because of what people perceive as. If you tell somebody you're going down to the alleys, they think you're going to a back alley somewhere instead of a bowling center to bowl or something.
well, in our case, Steve, that would be true.
So the terminology has changed. The lane conditions have changed. The balls have changed. So it's been evolving right along with everything else. And we've had to change the way we teach bowling, the way we coach, because of the different lane conditions, different balls, cover stop. They have synthetic lanes now rather than wood lanes. Before they were all wood lanes.
Oh,
Wow.
Now they have synthetic lanes, so it makes a difference which type of ball you use, how the ball reacts to it.
Now, you mentioned the wood lanes. Is there a particular wood that's recommended or that is ideal
The
for?
first part of the lane is a hard maple, is on what they call the front end of the lane. That's where your ball initially hits and starts its roll. That's a hardwood to protect the damage of it. As you get farther down the lane, it's a pine, which is a softer wood.
Right.
And the reason for that is that your ball will react better down there. It can get a hold of the friction
Right.
and react better. So there's actually 2 different kinds of woods in the lane.
I didn't know that's interesting.
Yeah, I did not know that either.
Yeah, that's why they get upset, Steve, when you kind of launch one way out.
Yeah.
Of course, you're using an 8-pound ball. But
Yeah. Benjamin, do you got any questions for the gentleman?
Well, you said you had 5 300 games. What did you, during those, what were you thinking as far as, did you think you had the shot to go for a perfect or?
But when, in my condition, everybody's a little bit different, but in my condition, I don't look at the scores. I have a habit, I don't pay attention to what I'm bowling. I just go out and I throw the frame. But after a while, you know, when you're up there only one
Yeah.
time, each ball, you get to figure, you got it close. Actually, the 11th ball is the difficult one for me.
Yeah.
I have found if I run the first 10, the 11th one is a difficult one. If I get that 11th one, 90% of the time I'm going to get 12.
12.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that the 10th frame, you get, if you get 3, if you hit all 3 or get 3 strikes, it's called a turkey.
Right.
Right.
Right. Well, I didn't know that. I always thought that's why I always took Steve bowling with me. And he said, "Well, I brought a turkey with me."
Yeah.
So, here's the butter ball.
There you go. That's correct. butterball.
No. Is there some other terms or things in bowling that obviously I'm a novice bowler, but that we don't know about?
Basically, that's about it until you get into the more research of the game, technical part of the game. That's basically what most bowlers know.
And I haven't been out. I haven't been out bowling in a long time. I assume you're probably all electronic out there, or the scoring
Yes. Yes, everything's electronic, computerized scoring. Now in our youth league, we try to teach, well, our high school too, we try to teach them how to score manually. So there's not too many of them left now that know how to score manually.
Oh yeah, to know how to do it. It's like keeping a baseball game.
That's one good thing about the phys ed classes that come down in the spring and the fall. East Noble will bring phys ed classes down, and then they will bowl. But the teacher in the phys ed class actually makes them keep score by hand.
Manually.
And they have to turn that in.
Right, strike, spare.
Right.
Yeah, and total it to the max.
Yeah. And I like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, I know you and I've golfed with you, obviously, and I say it's probably safe to say that our golf scores are probably higher than our bowling scores.
Yeah.
I can remember playing once golf, and I said, "You ever seen so many 8 and 9s on a scorecard?" And the gentleman I was with said, "Yeah, at the bowling alley."
Center.
Center.
Yeah, thank you. At the bowling center. Thank you.
Now, obviously, too, locally, I mean, it's a sport, it's a family, activity. What do you think your thoughts are on, just the love of the game, getting kids there to the alley? I mean, I know the Shadow Bowl has, like, youth stuff and birthday parties and anything to get the kids liking the game.
Right. We have a youth league on Saturday mornings. The history of that is that when my father came into the bowling center, actually he worked the bowling center in Auburn back in the early 50s.
Okay. I bet
and that's where I started bowling. Around 53, I can remember bowling in there with my 2 brothers, Bob and Sam, and that was located up above the old Kroger grocery store downtown in Auburn. And there's a history of bowling here in Kendallville also. The first bowling lane in Kendallville was in the basement of the old Elks Lodge on Mitchell Street, where the Federal Savings and Loan Building is at now. And then there was 2 lanes that were put in above, which is the Annex building now, the City Hall Annex building. There was 2 lanes put in up above there, and then there was 2 more added later. And then in the early 40s, Claire Aldrich put in 8 lanes on Park Avenue. And then he added 4 more lanes in the early 50s. And my father came over and took over at that time. There was what they call semi-automatic pin setters at that time, where you still had pin boys, but you put them up in the deck, and then you pull the rope and so forth, and it automatically set them in the right spots. Then around 57, they converted those to what they call A2s, and everything became automatic, and the pin boys were gone. Didn't have pin boys after that. So there is quite a history from there. And my father sold the bowling center in 1980, and then Toles bought the bowling center, and he run it until 92 when the tornado came through and damaged it.
Right.
And then we were without a bowling center from 92 to 95. And Chip or Dave Wagner started the bowling center here. We built one here back here in the shopping center. And then in 01, my brother took it over here, so it's back in the family again then. But he's back to where we started. My father started the youth league in 56, 57, somewhere in that area, and it was called the Jack 11 Youth League at that time. And it was named in memorial of Jackie Levin, who is the son of Sam Levin, that used to have the Levin scrapyard here in town. He died. I can't remember the reason why he died or was killed or whatever, but they made that youth league in his honor. After Dad retired, they changed it to just simply Kendallville Youth League. So when we took it back over, or my brother took it back over, the youth league here, and restarted it again. We named it in honor of our mom and dad. And it's now called the Bud and Maxine Campbell Memorial Youth League.
Okay.
Quite a long name, but we do provide instruction. Myself, my brother, and his son Bobby are all certified coaches, recognized through the United States Bowling Congress as well as the United States Olympic Committee, that we are certified coaches. So we give them instructions on Saturday. And we do have quite a few young bowlers coming up that look pretty good. If they concentrate, keep their mind in it, you know, like anything else, any other sport, they're going to do good.
And a lot of practice.
A lot of practice, yes.
Yeah, you can't bowl once a month and be very good
Oh,
at it.
no. Or same with the high school.
A couple times a year.
Yeah, a couple times a year. Now, when did you start bowling? Young age?
I started in, I can remember 1953. I can remember bowling in the old center in Auburn.
So he's not going to tell you how old.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you your age, but you've been bowling for a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else before we let you go? There again, Jerry, we appreciate you being on the show.
I do have a few.
Go ahead.
The name of the bowling center again for our viewers.
Shadow Bowl.
Shadow Bowl.
Yeah.
I got it right. Center.
Yes.
How many lanes do you have out there?
We have 12.
12. When is traditionally the time open bowl available for the public?
Usually
good
through the week 1 to 5,
Okay.
and then at 6 o'clock our leagues usually start. Tuesday is open 1 to 9, and that is a special day. You can come in and bowl for $1 a game.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
From 1 to 9. Friday nights are open. Saturday we have our league, our kids league in the morning, and then after 3 o'clock until 10 is open bowling. And then after 10 o'clock they have what they call a moonlight bowling, where you come in, you pay a set fee, you come in and you bowl 3 games. You can bowl for money because we put up colored pins in the deck. If those pins come up in a certain order and you get a strike, you get a certain amount of money depending on what placement those pins are in.
Now we're talking.
Well, we don't have to worry about this.
Yeah, but the
How
thing
about
is-
first split?
Yeah, the thing is we turn all the lights out.
Oh!
There's no lights except the light that is on the deck.
Oh, cool.
That's all the lights.
So you don't have your reference point?
No.
And,
No. That's why they call it moonlight.
It's like blind bowling.
Yes, there you go.
well, that might
Yes.
be an improvement for us.
Yeah, there you go.
And Sunday is pretty much filled with leagues on Sundays.
Oh, okay. I did not
It's
realize
like
that.
most of the other centers, the open bowl time is a little bit limited, but
Well, sounds like-
other than Tuesday night, we do have
Well,
some.
didn't you say Friday night's open, right?
Friday nights open.
So, I mean, that's something to keep in mind. I mean, especially this time of year when, like a day like today, you know, it's gonna be cold and
Give the kids something to do. Take the
get
kids.
them out there and
Yeah.
have a little friendly wager with some family members. or
Good,
friends.
safe, healthy, fun entertainment. Ben, you got any questions for Jerry?
No.
Jerry, is there anything else you'd like to add here before you go?
I just wanted to show you this.
Okay.
Back in 1992,
Right.
my brother-in-law called me one night, wanted to know if I would go to Chicago and bowl in what was called the Peterson Classic tournament. And he is from Sandusky, and they needed one more person to fill out their squad. So I said, sure, I'll go. I like to bowl in tournaments. So we went up to Chicago to bowl in this tournament, and there's 18 lanes on the second floor of an old warehouse. And when you walked up the steps, it was like you were walking back into the 1940s. I mean, it was great. It was just a classic old bowling alley.
Right.
I mean, alley at that time. It was
Right.
a classic alley. And so we bowled 9 games over 18 lanes, and there was better than 30,000 bowlers
Yeah.
that went through that tournament in about a 6-month period. And I think we can flip in there.
Some of
I
the
finished-
winnings there. was
I
some-
finished out 3rd.
Well, that's first single. Did it say what? It doesn't say what page for that, but yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Oh.
Over here.
Oh my! Wow.
Campbell, Jerry, Kendallville, Indiana. Score 1604.
So, and he was just 2 shy of second, and then third or first wasn't that?
12 pins shy of first.
Yeah,
Wow.
you made some money.
I did.
Congratulations.
This is not all of it. Because of the squad money, side pot money, High game won the lane for the tournament.
Right,
And all added up.
those little
Yes.
things, sure.
All total, I brought home a little over $15,000.
This was in 1990?
1992.
Do you play in tournaments very often then, or is?
I try to. I bowled in 15 national tournaments. I try to get to most of the state tournaments. A few side tournaments around we try to go to. We try to go to these tournaments as a family. Back to the family thing again, at one time we had a 4-generation team that we put out on the alleys to bowl in these tournaments. We're down to 3 generations now. But,
Campbell, and Campbell.
Well,
Yes.
if we ever decide to have a fundraiser, police versus firemen
Yeah.
bowling, he is exempt. He cannot bowl.
Or we get a team together, we decide we want to play for money, and he's our ringer. Yeah. Hey, sir, would you like to bowl with us?
one other thing I'd like to encourage the high school bowlers to come out and try out. If they get into the youth league, they can get extra instructions because the state only allows the bowling teams to practice twice a week,
Oh,
which I don't understand. Any other sport they can practice anytime
yeah.
they want.
Yeah.
They limit bowling to twice a week.
Now, what? I guess maybe I missed that. When is the season on that, or the?
The season actually starts Monday. We have our first match Monday. The East Noble girls will play Butler at Butler.
okay. Yeah, which has a bowling alley.
Yes.
At each side.
Yes. Well, when we bowl everything. All teams bowl in one house, and then they switch houses, so all the teams are there together. East Noble boys, I believe, are playing Central Noble, I believe.
Okay.
And again, that'll be in Butler. But there's, like I say, there's 8 schools in our conference. Not all of them have a bowling center that they can bowl in, so some of them have to double up
Gotcha.
on the houses they bowl in. But there are scholarships available through bowling.
Oh, wow.
We have, so far, East Noble has received 4 scholarships. Excuse me, 3 of them to Indiana Tech and 1 of them to Valparaiso. And
Well,
these aren't just small scholarships, because one of them, if I'm not mistaken, was a full ride.
Was one of them the Lanker girl?
Mary Winkler, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she bowls for Indiana Tech.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. She's our top bowler now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew she was
Yeah.
quite the bowler. I obviously know her father and her brother, but
Yeah.
Tommy bowled too. Did he not?
Yes, he did.
Tommy, the boy.
So if they put their mind into it, like I say, there are scholarships available out there. My grandson Connor, he bowls for LaPel High School, and he's a sophomore, and he's already got college people looking at him.
Great.
So, and Bob's granddaughter Madison Campbell bowls for Lakeland. She's had some look at her also.
Wow.
And my granddaughter Megan, she has a scholarship and bowls for the University of Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Wow.
never
That's
would
great.
have guessed that. That's awesome.
Yes, there's money out there for bowlers if they, like I say, if they want to get into it, but they got to be dedicated to it.
Right.
It's like any other sport.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's commitment.
Yes.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Well, Jerry, I appreciate you being here. God bless you. Hope you had a good time.
I did.
Stay in touch. Keep in touch.
Yeah, I get a little carried away when it starts talking about this.
Well, it's a
and
passion.
family history.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, all power to you.
You can tell he's got a real love of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
we appreciate you stopping by. God bless you. We'll see you at the center,
Yes, the center.
the
Yeah.
Shadow Bowl
Yes.
Center.
Yeah.
We would, if you want to come down, do a show down there, cover the high school kids. You know,
There you go. There.
especially the high school kids. We like to get because there's not many of them out that know that there is a high school program.
Is it too late for? I know we're going over, but really we don't care because we're on our own time. Is it too late for kids to try out for the bowling team then? Because you've got some.
The season starts Monday.
Right.
We've been in practice for 3 weeks now. They can come out and try out, but they probably won't get a spot on the team unless
Right.
they're exceptionally good, because the roster has to already be put in.
Oh, gotcha.
But if they want to come out and give it a try, come out on Saturday mornings into our youth leagues. And like I say, you get instructions there also.
Well, we may take you up on that offer. That would gonna be a fun remote. Do a broadcast at the bowling alley.
Well, not just that. I mean, this time of the year, I'm glad to hear that Friday evenings are open. I mean, what a great.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. We'll have to go.
Absolutely. too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They got a full kitchen.
Yes, we
Hey, Jerry, God bless you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
Okay.
You're free to go.
All right.
And remember, you can watch it. Tell your family and friends they can watch it. You know, obviously now or later, but just go to KTV Sports
Okay.
or KendallvilleTV.com.
Okay.
And Julie, we're going to do 2 parts today, correct? Let me know when about 30 minutes is up. And I do want to go over.
I think actually we're going to have to stop, right?
Okay, well just let me know when
So
we're going to stop.
make sure you scroll down, watch part 2 of the show.
That's right.
Yep.
After you watch
Okay.
part 1.
If you're just joining us, we apologize, but we've had some technical difficulties, and this is a pre-recorded version of the show, the first part.